estate whilst I was...
Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us at this week's Skill Up webinar. Tonight we have the lovely Jane Thompson with us, and we will be talking about how to style your home office to boost your mood, which is fantastic. So thanks so much, Jane, for joining us and giving us your time. And I will hand over to you to educate us on our home offices.
Sure. Okay, Rochelle, thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to be here. There's nothing more, I think, at the moment more on the top of our minds than working from home, because with this COVID stuff, and there's Carrie, hi. Sorry, just a friend of mine popped on. So it's, now more than ever, I think it's a really important thing, because there's so many things you can get wrong. I think ergonomically, for your mind, mental health, things like that. But I just thought, just before I started, a little bit about me. I've been an interior designer for 30 years. I started when I was 5, so I'm only 35. My parents thought, my God, why don't you just get out there and start earning money? But anyway, so I started out in life as an actor. I was also a model, and then I went into manufacturing. I was then before I started as a designer, I was then involved in manufacturing boogie boards and surf skis. And then having 2 parents, one, my mother was an interior designer, and my father just recently retired as an architect, and he's nearly 88. So it's kind of like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess. But I absolutely adore what I do. I adore people. I think you have to in this business. And I could talk forever about interior design and how I can help people. So I think that's enough about me. But what I'd like to say to everybody, since this silly, terrible, awful COVID thing has kind of infected our lives, when we're working from home, it's for some people, it's going to be very odd. Some people that have had offices, that have had to move from offices to home, it's kind of like a reworking of your brain. I think offices in the past, especially if you've worked from a commercial space, a lot of these spaces have been purpose built. Now, when I say purpose built, it's to be done at the cheapest, most cost effective and quick way to get people in a building. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have good design to actually help you or engender you to create great thought processes, or be creative, or to be able to actually inspire you to work. So I think now everybody is at home. It's now a time that we can actually, and this is a good thing about COVID, excuse me, I'm sorry, I've got an itchy nose, that now a lot of us are working from home, and we're looking at our spaces differently. Now, I know a lot of you would already be working from home because you may run your businesses from home. But I think because we're in the home more often, perhaps, and I don't know, all of you may not be, but at least you're going to be looking at your office now as kind of an adjunct to your space. And also you want to connect to your space. So with your office, you want to maybe have some correlation between your office and your living space. So when you walk into the living space and then you walk into your office, it's kind of like a lead on from the rest of your house, if that makes sense. So you want it to kind of be a cohesive, lovely space to be in. That's not kind of a shock horror, my God, here is an office. And I mean metal filing cabinets, crap thrown everywhere, just something that's uninspiring. So when you go into your workspace every day, you want to go, yes, I'm going to work, bring it on, fantastic. So you want to be able to work, to walk into your office and go, oh my God, I'm so inspired right now. So it's going to be different for everybody. So when you walk into your office, you want to go, oh my God, I'm loving this color. I feel inspired to work. I love that I've got this beautiful piece of artwork. I love this great lighting above me and beside me coming in. I've got this great ergonomic chair or something I feel comfortable in. And some people only have dining chairs. But in that space, that is your space, and that's your space to make so much money or to feel creative or to feel nurtured. So it should be, in some respects, your sanctuary. So does that, I mean, I hope that makes sense. And I just thought before we carry on to some of our questions tonight, just a few little tips. And sorry, I've just had to write them out today. I've had a big day. So what I say to people, no fiddly bitsy things around. Try to keep it as simple as possible. And if you can, try to get larger pieces, because when we're in an office, the more fiddly bits about us, it's distracting. It can make us feel discombobulated or anxious. So when you've got a very clear workspace, you're more able to concentrate on things that matter, and it's actually more inspiring, and you can feel more creative. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If anybody wants to go, no, I don't agree, please tell me. So look, just before we go to those questions, your home office should reflect you, as I said before, should be inspiring and add artwork and things that, you know, if you're working so hard, which we all do in our own businesses, you want to be able to have something that you can look to every now and again that's going to inspire you, like a mood board or about where you want to go, and, you know, an inspiration board. So that's super important. Not to have too much color. So when I say that, I'm not saying not have color, I'm just saying have probably a palette of 3 colors, because that can be confusing. It can actually make you quite anxious with a lot of little bits and a whole lot of colors spurted all over the place. So you want to have quite a calming environment, or if you're creative, you want to have something when you walk in that you feel inspired and happy and joyful. So a couple of the colors that I'd recommend for that is, I'm not saying to do the whole room in yellow, but to have some yellows. If you say you loved yellow, it makes you feel inspired to perhaps have some yellow objects, or have yellow wall and pepper that with white and black. That's a beautiful color combination. Something for people that often when they want to go to work, if they feel that they just want to be calm, that a navy blue and say white and brass actually is quite calming. You actually feel in the moment, and you actually can concentrate a lot more. Green is a beautiful calming. It's even more calming, and you actually feel more connected. But you've got to get the right greens. So no fluoro greens, not a great idea, but something, and I was going to have this ready, but something, if you look at the color of a fiddle leaf fig leaf. So if you take that color and it's kind of muted, but you put that on one wall or have a piece of art with that green in it, you're going to feel so much more calm, connected, and happy. So I think I've raved on for long enough. So Rochelle, do you want to pull me back in and start with our first?
Yeah, no, that was perfect. I just realised I need to get some yellow in my office.
It's only if it resonates with you, but yeah.
No, definitely. Okay, we have a few questions, which is great. Okay, we've got this from a couple of people, same kind of context, is how to best organise your workspace when you have so much paperwork.
Okay, so do I have to channel Marie Kondo here?
Yeah, maybe.
So when you have lots of paperwork, you need to get it out of your eye line. So we all have paperwork we have to deal with every day. So the simple solution is any paperwork that you've just used, you need a place you need to store it. And I have found this amazing piece. Okay, I'm talking IKEA. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with using IKEA in your workspace. And I do actually have a printout here I'd like to show everybody, but it's called an Alex. I'm sorry, I'm not smart enough to get like a slide thing going, but the Alex, and I've shown it in a blue because if I showed the white, it wouldn't show up on the screen. But what that is, it's got very narrow drawers, and you can pull them out and you can set all your papers. You can have stuff, your reams of paper. You can also have paperwork that you can put into folders. Now, the reason I think this is a great idea, because, you know, we're talking about cubes before, the amazing Kallax cubes that you can stick on the wall, whatever. An arch file actually takes up so much room. So with these systems with Alex, you can actually, with them, they're actually quite wide. They're about 850 wide. And I think they're about 700 high. So it's slightly lower than a normal desk height, which is about 750 millimeters. But what you can do with them is divide, and you can actually put little labels on it saying what it's for. And if you put your folders in there with all your paperwork, that makes it very, very easy and inexpensive to be able to file your paperwork. Sorry, I'll go back to this. So Tracy, again, we have to channel Marie Kondo here and see what paperwork is important, what isn't, and get rid of it. But apart from that, that's one of the things, I mean, that you can do. When we're talking about storage units for filing and papers, again, the best thing is to not have lever arch files. I know everybody wants them. I've still got them. I'm actually transferring them into my Alex at the moment. But try not to have storage units or bookcases that go right up to the ceiling, because generally people stick stuff in it. And when you stick a whole lot of stuff in an open bookcase, what do you get? You get a lot of color, you get a lot of kind of visual torment, if you like, because you've got all these things happening. So when you're in an office, and I know when some of us were working in big office areas, you kind of catch a glimpse of that, and that creates anxiety. So when we have our offices at home, the one thing we're trying to create is a place that is peaceful. It's our sanctuary, but also somewhere where we don't want to feel anxious. So with all that stuff, above eye level, and I know a lot of you won't be able to do this, but what I'm trying to say is try to keep all that below eye level. So when we're talking about Kallax units with the cubes that we were talking about before, if you can store all that stuff below eye level, that's going to be a much better way for you to work. It's going to take out a lot of that anxiety, take out a lot of that confusion about different things hitting you at once, and the thought process going, oh my God, I've got to do that. So keeping that as clear as you can with inspirational things in front of you is a really good idea. So again, any storage units below, if you can, if you've still got your lever arch files, try to swap them out for one color or two colors. I'd always go white, navy, black, something like that. So it's very, very, shall I say, calming, and you don't get all this vibrant color mixed up next to each other, because that will create a monster anxiety headache for you. Just a tip.
That's great.
Anyway, so I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and Lisa has a similar question. It's probably a similar response or thought process. For sorting ideas, that is an abundance of paper on her desk. Is that another Marie Kondo?
We've all got a channel. She's awesome, but we know that when you have too much stuff. Oh, Carol's husband's talking. I think.
Yes. For my lunch, my tea.
Love that. So when we have too much stuff, and we know we've got too much stuff, whether it's visual or stuffed away in cupboards, that's something that plays on our mind. So I think what Lisa was saying, sorting ideas. So yeah, wall-mounted cubes are a great thing as long as you can hide all the bits. So what we're trying to do is take away from millions of bits and pieces and lots of color and lots of confusion. So sure, if you do have or can pop a Kallax on the wall above your eye level. So what I'm saying to you, what I'm trying to say to you is don't have anything at eye level that can actually obstruct you from what you're doing. So if you're going to have storage for sorting ideas or abundance of paper on your desk, don't have the paper on your desk. Either have something behind you with storage cubes or same coloured, sorry, what was I saying, lever arch files. But other than that, have them underneath. So a great way, and another thing I've been doing for a long time, even though I said before I've still got those each lever arch files, is to buy desks that have enough room underneath. So something like, sorry, I'm just going to sort through. I've printed off some stuff this afternoon for you ladies to have a look at. I've just got to find it. Of course, it's all jumbled up. But basically something like, and I will go back to IKEA because they have very inexpensive, I'm not saying that you have to have IKEA, of course you don't. If you want to splash out on a $5,000 desk, go for it. It's fantastic. But something like this here is a Mickey desk. So if you take out one of those chairs, you've got heaps of room underneath to put a little filing cabinet. Now, we all thought that filing cabinets went out with, what is it, high button boots or something like that. But actually, when you get the really compact ones that you can stick under your desk or put in a really, really kind of tucked in area, you can put things in files. And when you've got loose paperwork, it means that it's not ready to be filed. So you stick it in that filing cabinet underneath your desk. So that's something without, look, I'm not an expert as Marie Kondo is, but those are the things that I know that work, that I've done for clients before, and they love it. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, this one was Carol's question, the importance of light and scent.
Yay, I love this question. So Carol, the importance of lighting and scent. So let's start on the lighting. Lighting is everything. So I don't know if you remember, we've all got, well, a lot of us still have halogen lighting, but we've now, most of us have got LED lighting, which is a great idea. But just a little tip with LED lighting when it comes to overhead lighting, please don't use daylight or the white ones. Use warm white. And I'll tell you, please, if you're using anything else but warm white, you're going to feel a little bit off.
I think I've got cool white.
Yeah, cool white is the worst thing. People think it's going to be brighter, but it's not. What it does, and they've proven this in offices, because for years and years in offices, they were putting in fluoro globes. The fluoro globes, which is very close to an LED, actually has a blue-white light or a bright white. Now, what that does, it makes us look cold. It makes us feel cold. And they think, and this is how, I think they've done a clinical trial, that it can actually make you feel depressed. So years ago, we're going back 20, maybe 30 years ago, they actually invented the halogen light. Now, the halogen light is actually more energy efficient than an Edison globe, which was the old fashioned, you know, you screw in the bayonet and whatever. So the reason why they actually made those was to work in art galleries. Because the other Edisons were too yellow, it was the closest thing that they could find to natural sunlight. Natural sunlight is the best way to view anyone. So if you've ever had a photo shoot and you have natural sunlight, it's the best light. And if you can't have natural sunlight in a studio setting, that's why they often use reflectors to take the beautiful lights that they use to reflect them back softly on your face to mimic natural sunlight. Now, natural sunlight, when you walk out to the sun, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel amazing? Yes. How would you feel if I shone a blue-white light on you? What it does, it drains you of color. It actually doesn't lift your mood. So the closest thing to the halogen light, now we've moved on to the LEDs, is the warm white. Now the warm white, it's not that warm. It's actually not as warm as a halogen. But what it does, it actually picks up beautiful skin tones. It makes your art look better. And you know what? It actually makes you feel better. So, okay. So sorry, Carol, I was babbling on. I told you I could
No.
talk for Australia
No,
underwater,
it's
in
very
the
interesting.
Olympic and wind. So when you're working in your office, what I would suggest, if you do have a blue light or what we're saying, a bright white, please change it. Any lighting you ever have, even in your desk lamps or your standard lamps or table lamps, make sure you get a warm white. Okay. So when you're working in the office, we all need side light as well. So when you're working, your head's down, you need that side light coming in. So if you're, I think if you're left-handed, it comes in from the same side. So if I'm right-handed, I'd have it coming over. I can have it coming over my shoulder. I can have it coming up and down onto the paper. But another nice thing to do is at least have one overhead light that spreads a wide beam. So it just, again, it's good for your mental health, but it's also good for being able to see what's right in front of you at any given time. So our desk lights, what it can do during the day, it can actually light a spot up, but having that general light, especially if you have a dark corner in your house, if you're working from home, that's what we're talking about, it can actually feel like you have some daylight coming in. So that's, and I know it's not just about, when we talk about interior design is all about how you feel in your space. So lighting is one of the most important things. A great thing that I've just found actually at Beacon Lighting, and we're talking about inexpensive lighting, is to maybe replace your downlight with something like this, which is a little directional light, comes in a warm white only, please, only warm white. I chose the black because it pops out more on the page, but something that's directional that you can, light up your desk where it needs to be lit up. Now, if you have several places in your office, you don't want to go to the expense of putting different downlights in. I mean, downlights are great, but if we're in our office, we want a fitting that's going to be cost effective, that's going to light up different vignettes in our office. So when I say vignette, we've all got, when you walk into a room, generally you've got to have at least one focal point so your eye can go to it. And it's generally something that's curated. So you might have a console, an artwork, a lamp, and a beautiful plant. That's called a vignette. So your eye focuses on that and it draws you into that room. So and often when we see magazines, what do you see in the front of a magazine is a vignette. It's not just a whole wide angle of a room. It's not a wide angle shot. It's actually, you're drilling down on one space in that room, because that one space in a big room can make you feel connected. It can make you feel happy and makes you feel organized, and your mind feels at peace. So when we're talking about offices and lighting, this light, if you've got, say you've got 2 or 3 areas like you do, Rochelle, I can see you've got your race chicks, yeah, and then you've got an artwork on the far wall, and you've got another one. So this lighting, track lighting, is inexpensive. I think you can buy this for about $180. For install, it's about anywhere from 80 to 120. So you can have 3 or 4 lights on this track, and it doesn't have to be in this color, but you can angle those lights in any given direction to highlight those vignettes. So not only are you going to have your desk light, you're going to have this beautiful light that you can direct anywhere you want, so you feel better and you're actually highlighting all those beautiful vignettes you have in your office. So, okay.
Perfect.
All right, now scent. Scent, as you know, look, how many times have you walked into, I don't know, maybe grandma's house when you're a little girl, and if grandma was getting old, you go, oh my God, what does that smell? Or you walk into your son's room. I don't know, any of you, and you walk into your son's room and you go, oh my God, what is that smell? It's like, my mother used to say, it smells like a cauldron of boiled boys. So if you've got a whole lot of boys and you put them in a cauldron, you lit it and you boiled it, that's the smell you get. And it is, oh my God, it's disgusting. So when you're working from home and you're in your home office, you want to be inspired, don't you? You want to feel like you're going to attack this day. You want to have a feeling, and I know I do, to feel creative. You want to feel invigorated, you want to feel happy, because happiness will a feeling of happy. We're not happy all the time, but to have that feeling of happiness, it makes you feel creative, makes you feel, oh my God, I want to take on the world, you know. So Carol, a lot of the question you asked, sense is so important. So I can't say that there's a blanket scent for everybody, but there are some amazing aromatherapy essential oils. Look, there's so many of them, but I think you've got to go with the smell that makes you feel incredible. So what I'd say to you, if you've got a favorite perfume, when you smell it, you go, oh my God, that just makes me feel whatever. It makes me feel inspired. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel sexy, whatever it is. Try to find out what that base note is in the perfume, and then go to whatever aromatherapy essential oils you love and try to find out what that is. And then go to someone that really understands that and have that burning in your office 24/7 if need be, because that's going to make you feel, oh my God, it's something that it essentially scents remind us of memories. Memories can either be good, bad. Sorry about that, it's my computer. It can make you feel, evoke terrible memories, or it can make you evoke great memories. So a smell, whilst you're working and looking around you, they all work together. So if you have that great smell that makes you feel, as I said before, sexy, invigorated, creative, or it might mean that you've really got to knuckle down, you've got to concentrate. So just for creativity and happiness, I go for something that you've already identified in a perfume you love. Or if you've got to be really focused, I can't remember what the essential oil is. I think it's sandalwood or bergamot that makes you actually feel. So Carol, to answer your question, have carried on a long time, but yeah, it's so important. And you need to have that every day to make you feel amazing.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Pleasure.
Okay, our next question from Paula is rental space, so removable items.
So this is interesting, because when you are in a rental space, people get quite worried about it. And I understand, because we've all had in different spaces. I know I've had it a couple of times when I used to have a studio. I now work from home, so this is why I can talk forever about working from home. But I used to have 2 rental spaces, and one of them, we had the most amazing landlord. He goes, you know what, darling, do whatever you want. The other one was, you know, when you move out, it is at your expense. So they're one of the horrible landlords we don't like. So there are so many things now that we can do to overcome that. So Paula, one of the great things is we can actually get wallpaper now that's removable. One of the better providers is Lux Walls. Now, she's amazing. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name at the time being, but she provided, when I did Changing Rooms last year on Channel 10, she provided all the wallpaper for the show, and they are just brilliant. So we could remove it, or the client could remove it if they, you know, happen not to like it, which they didn't, yay. But that's great. When you are in a rental space, if you want to, I know this sounds crazy, but if you want to paint a wall, you can actually go to Lux Walls and get a beautiful coloured wallpaper that's going to give you that pop of colour you need. And we were talking about before about bright yellow, or green, or a beautiful green like that leaf green, or a navy blue. So she can do that for you. You can rip that down and Bob's your uncle, you're fine. Now, say if you wanted to have a feature wall, so we've just sorted that out with the wallpaper, and you wanted to put a beautiful big piece of art that resonates you, that makes you feel inspired. You know what? You don't actually have to put it on the wall. So often I say to people in rental properties that have desks and they're trying to figure out where the best place to put everything is, when you're sitting at your desk, when you look up, you want to feel inspired. So that's where I say to people, have your artwork behind your computer. I know that sounds counterintuitive, But it means whenever you look up, you're going, oh my God, this is amazing. I feel so inspired. I feel so creative. I feel so focused, whatever it is. But we're all here trying to work to get millions of dollars to buy that beach house. So of course you want to, when you look up from your work and you're thinking, you want to be focused on that thing that drives you. So a lot of people, I found a lot of solace and a lot of inspiration in art. So I'm actually going to be doing it I've got to have it finished in the next 6 weeks. I'm actually going to paint my own piece of art. So it's something that's about 2 meters high and probably about 1,600 wide. And I'm just going to splash it with colors I love, and because I have done a lot of artwork in my house. But I'm going to sit that behind my desk and with something, maybe a little shelf with a candle burning on the wall that I can look up to at any given time and feel great about. But the great thing about that is sorry, Paula, you don't have to actually mount it on the wall. You can actually pop it behind your desk. Okay, part of it's going to sit behind your desk, and it's something I've just done a video on that talks about artwork that sits on the floor or is very close to your skirting board. Does it matter that it's not hung on the wall? No, it doesn't. But there's another one. So if in your office that you have a console, you've got some low benches. So this is what I was saying to the girls before, keep those low benches because you don't want anything too high that has lots of books and papers and confusing and irritating colors, is to have a console. So if you've got a console or a low storage unit, to stick an artwork on top of that, you don't actually have to necessarily hang it on the wall. You can just actually rest it on the console or the storage unit. You know what actually looks cool? And the thing is, so it doesn't fall off or move, if you're moving your console, you bang into it, you just put blue tack. So on your console, and behind it, it's an old property styling trick, but it stops the artwork from moving. So that's another great thing. I've got Paula's rental space removal as is useful. Okay, so Paula, I hope that's answered your question. I can go on more about it, but I think we've got a few more questions to go through.
Yeah. Okay. Jacqueline's question was, we have a smallish but very white office and bland office in a shared office centre. Now they need some tips on how to make it more attractive.
Okay. So white, people think that white is often bland. Now, number one, it depends on the white. And it's a shared office centre. So I think, okay, so she wants to make it more attractive. So it depends on a whole lot of things. Generally, with white, things that look amazing with white are black, green, and gold or yellow. It's a beautiful design trend at the moment. It's fresh, it's inviting. What I'd love to say is what she needs is to bring in some plants. I can't think of a time where I have curated a design and I haven't used plants. Plants, especially when you're in a rental office space or in a joint office space, actually make you feel calm. They've had studies done by clinical studies all over the world, and basically plants are a cure-all for everything. They reduce stress, they reduce symptoms of depression. It actually helps in stronger memory retention. And also makes you feel connected to the outdoors. So when we're indoors, where do we want to be? We want to be outdoors, don't we? So when you're sitting indoors, and even they've proven it, again, they've done clinical studies. As much as I don't love fake plants, they've actually shown that even if it is a fake plant, the mere fact that your brain is reading something as a natural object, like a plant with the green, it actually makes you feel calm. It makes you feel connected to the outside world. So often when you're working from home, we can all feel isolated. So one thing that plants do is make you feel connected. It makes you feel that stress that you might be feeling, especially if you're working on your own. You don't have anybody to bounce ideas off, or you just look at a plant and you automatically feel calmer. Not to mention the fact they're so damn pretty. So if you have a plant, in your office and it is white, it's going to make the space pop. So again, if you are in that white space, to add maybe even a picture frame with a little bit of natural, like a light natural timber color, or you go black. So you go very fine black. Don't do thick frames in an office. You want something very fine with a beautiful image that you feel connected to. I would always, unless you're going, I'd always go large, especially in a small space, because it makes the focal point so much more powerful. And especially if that artwork is something that is inspiring you, that's going to be something that you're working to your end game. It might be the most beautiful house you've ever seen. It may be a beautiful print of your beach house or a beautiful beach house. It may be, I don't know, it could be just a vignette of anything that you resonate with that makes you feel absolutely amazing. So I'm just trying to find, okay. So I've just found this on the net. Now this is a beautiful home office. And as you can see, it's got that navy blue wall. It's actually printed a bit lighter. And all the artwork, this particular person wanted to make that the focal point. So whenever she looked around, what she did, she saw the artwork. So in a rental space, don't worry, you can hang these on Commander hooks. But basically something that makes you feel that you have a focal point. So in that white office, you can see all those pieces of art, and you can see on a white wall, even that will create interest. And if you do them all maybe in one color and make that the focal point. So I've got to go back to her question, sorry.
Yep.
But I would go go bigger rather than smaller in a white space. Okay, so if you've got a desk, okay, it can still be a white desk set against white, but then you want some kind of get a big lamp or get a big desk lamp to define the area, to make it look powerful, because you are powerful. And you want, in a small space, not everything has to be small. People think that, but it's not true. And again, if you have a large desk with big lamp and a big piece of art, you've just created an instant vignette. And again, the artwork can almost sit on the floor if you want it to behind your desk, if it's that big, which I'd recommend.
Great. And that will definitely answer Kat's question about office plants as well. So our last question, Kat had two, is where to find a stylish office chair rather than the black or the boring.
Okay. So there's a couple of places. So I'm just trying to find my printout. I think it's called, I'm just going to look it up for Kat, but where's a really good place, and I actually bought my sexy new office chair from, is Broza or Broza. Have you girls heard of Broza? It's actually amazing. It's an online retail outlet, but the chairs, there's one. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this. Anyway, they're fantastic. Mine actually comes in a felted green wool. I know that sounds yucky poo, but it's actually gorgeous. And it has a brass leg and it's swivel and it's gorgeous. It's got casters and I just love it. So there is another place, I think it's called Vonda. Vonda. And they have some really good ones. I'm just going to, actually, while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to look it up very quickly so I can show you. But absolutely stunning. And I did see one the other day. That was actually, sorry, it's the wrong name, but Kat, I will get that to you, I promise. But they had this most stunning office chair and it was looking like a dining chair on wheels and it was so beautiful. I swear it is gorgeous. It was only like $180. It was incredible.
Nice. I'm glad Kat asked that question.
Kat, I'll email you and I'll let you know. Yeah. Sorry, it's been out of my head. But Broza.
I've just had a look at Broza. I've just found a chair I like.
That is,
I think it's mine.
brosa.com.
Yeah, yeah. And I can't remember the name of the chair, but they do have some beautiful, beautiful little office chairs.
Nice. Mine looks nice, but it's not comfortable.
Well, this is comfortable. Yeah. You don't like this, the one I have, I wish I could, actually, while we're talking, I'm going to look up the name, is actually not a high back chair. Now, sometimes high back chairs can push you forward a bit. What you want to be in a chair is upright. Your tummy, you push your tummy out, your hips should be pushed forward. So what we all tend to do is sway our backs and push our bottom out. And that's why we get so many problems with backs. And I don't know if a lot of you girls have been having problems with your back since you've been working from home, or if you do get problems with your back. But generally, that's one of the biggest problems. A lot of these chairs can actually push you forward and stick your neck out. I'm just looking up this chair now. Sorry, I've got to do it. Oh, yeah, it's called the Gabe office chair, and it's sexy as hell. It's only because I bought it, but yeah, it is very sexy. Cat, I'm just going to show you. So everything is going slow because I want to show you. But anyway, so that's with the office chair. And when that loads, I will show you. So we got another question?
No, that's it. That's all the pre-submitted question, which is fantastic. So we can open this up if anyone else has any other questions.
Oh, sorry. Stupid pop-up. Sorry. I was just going to show you the sexy office chair. So that's green felted wool and a brass base. So I think it's just gorgeous. It looks amazing. And I think it's $300. So
yeah.
Kat, I will get you that website to go and visit for your office chair.
It's great. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions. No? I think we've answered them all.
It's all right. Look, I was just going to do a shout out before we end, if Michelle, if that's okay.
Sure.
I just thought to tell the ladies, I've got this new service that I've actually created, and it's called Design Democracy. So what I've done for people, a lot of people now, especially in COVID, are looking for some design advice, but they don't want to have to spend $4,500, $5,000 per room. So it's approximately what it is when you engage a full service from an interior designer. So what I've created is this amazing little 2-hour consultancy. We attack at least up to 10 items or a room. And it is basically, I specify everything, but you do it all. So it's a DIY service. It's amazing. We go through everything. We can choose colors. We can select colors. We can drill down on layouts, furniture, color directions, a color palette for your room. And normally it's $764.50, but with ladies for tonight, because you're part of the group, I'm offering a 30% discount for $535. Also, ladies, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'm doing every week now, I'm doing amazing little videos with tips and tricks for interior design. So please do follow me, and I will be having a competition that someone gets a free styling couple of hours. So if you do start following me, I'll be putting out the competition, and I'm actually running competition, for a couple of hours of styling at your home, whether it be on Zoom or me actually in person. So I hope that's exciting to you.
What's your Insta handle?
So it's at Jane Thompson without a P, or one word, _.
Excellent. All right, wonderful. Well, tomorrow I shall be off to awesome excuse to go to IKEA. Damn it, you know, like.
Are you allowed?
Yeah, probably, I don't know. Or I just might have to, you know, do some online shopping. Because I definitely need some track lighting, I think. I'm going to find some yellow because I need some inspiration and do my inspiration board. And I definitely need a plant in my office.
You so do.
You realise I don't have a plant.
So important. It will make you feel instantly happier, and your room will just look amazing. Now, a great plant is a fiddle leaf fig, or some of the there's a lovely one called Crassula ovata. So that's actually a succulent, but it looks like coral. It is so beautiful. So Crassula ovata, that's a beautiful thing to have on your desk, and makes you feel beautiful. Just amazing.
I'm going to find those. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jane, for your time tonight. Yeah, we really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for being part of Small Business Women Australia. Please don't hesitate to pop any comments or questions or pictures of your home office once you've done all your design tips. So pop them in the group. You know, you can do before and afters.
No pressure, Carol. It's okay.
And thank you so much, Jane, for your offer, for your special offer.
Yeah.
Send that out to everyone in the group as well. So have a great night, everyone. And
Thank you.
Safe, and we'll see you at our next webinar. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Bye Jane.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.